everybody, what's happening? It's my PDawg night. How you doing? And today I just thought I'd jump on because I don't know. I just figured I want to chat about some stuff. And I wanted to check out my new digs here. I've got the green screen working, so now you get little funny, weird things going on behind me. So that's new. And I don't know. I was gonna throw some music on too. This is gonna be kind of a mellow day, so I think I might just throw some jazz on in the background, just to keep it mellow. But I don't know. This isn't really a show that I planned out, so I have some things on my computer here, and I've got Twitter up. We can look at that, or if you want to talk about something from the chat, we can talk about that. The original reason I came down here to the studio in the basement was because of Candace Owens. And Candace Owens drives me nuts. And, she has been on, she's on the Glenn Beck show, I guess, on Blaze TV. And, talking about the past of George Floyd. And George Floyd, I don't know anyone on the planet who thinks George Floyd was a saint in his earlier life, which doesn't exist anymore, Candace. And I know she makes the point that his past doesn't have anything to do with what happened to him, and yet she insists on dragging that out. Now, and look, I don't care that she wants to talk about the man's past. I don't care that she has an opinion, and she's more than welcome to it, more than welcome to express it. The problem is, I think, what annoys me, one, is that she's so adamant about talking about it, which is fine, but unfortunately, the president of the United States also retweeted the part of the conversation that Candace would put on. She didn't put it on Blaze TV. Put it on Twitter, and the president retweeted it. And I just thought it was the ultimate. I don't want. What am I saying here? I don't want that to be anything about this, and I don't know what Candace's agenda is. Candace is, famous for being famous. She's not she can memorize some talking points, but now she's getting out into stuff where I just don't know what her purpose is. If her purpose is to, in theory, she has this so-called movement called Blexit, that if her purpose is to try to get black conservatives to not vote Democrat and vote Republican and whatever, she's not quite going in the direction that she needs to be doing. There are plenty of black people who appreciate Trump for what he is, know that he's probably not really a racist. He's not. But I just wish people would stop magnifying her words, because there's so many people. Look, here's the thing. I've been on the conservative side of the spectrum for a very long time. At least since the early 90s in as far as admitting it to myself, and certainly since the 80s, at least in thought, not realizing that, hey, you know what? I am kind of conservative. I do think that some of the ideas the Republicans have are much better than the ideas the Democrats have. And that, there is an element of self-reliance that people need to aspire to. And so I don't know, but and guess what? There's a whole wave of black people who believe that, whether or not they want to become a bigger part of American society or just to grow our own society. The Hoteps are all about, self-reliance, building your own businesses. If you want this kind of school, then build your school or build this and learn trades, learn this and do everything you can to learn and build your family, And that's a great message. And I don't agree with everything the Hoteps say, but I think their message is extremely valuable. And so when I don't understand, I'm so that was, anyway, I'm getting off on this too much, but that was the purpose of coming down here. I was like, am I going to make a video? Am I going to do a live stream about that? What am I going to do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her, I'm going to go listen to that stream with Glenn Beck and her and maybe just take out some points and make a separate video about that. Because I don't know if I can do that. One, it's too long. It's an hour long, and I don't want to spend a whole time today doing that. But I think I need to take some parts of that and go, look, here's where you're fucking up, Candace, which is probably something I could say to her every day just when she says dumb shit. So anyway. Let's do a quick good morning to everyone's here. My other worry about even going live this morning, you ever like, well, I don't know if you experience this. I always wonder if I stream someday, am I just going to come on and nobody shows up and you guys are all here? This is so awesome. I am so happy that you all are here. First person who popped on was Mike Savage. Who gets the bell? Blarg. And also, good morning. This is Kyle, Sean DW, Renee Mayette, Tarai Deos, who doesn't get to see me in the mornings because I know this is not the best time for you. So I'm glad you popped in on the weekend. Thank you. Good morning, Midday Sun, Ginger Power, Tyler F, Amy in Connecticut, the gayest person on YouTube. Now, I always got to clarify because Amy in Connecticut is not the gayest person on YouTube. The gayest person on YouTube is the gayest person on YouTube. That's their name. Good morning, Richo, my friend from down under. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors, Rolling Bear. Let's see. I'm scrolling. Grillin' Pirate Pete, Stabbing Joe Scarborough. Don't hurt me, sir. Selected Boy. All right, and City Rochelle, good morning. Good morning to, is that everybody? I think that's kind of everybody. Oh, the enemy. The enemy's in the house. Oh, the enemy 38. But you're not my enemy. You're my friend. Also, good morning to Black Hebrew Israelites. Good morning. And I think I've caught up on everybody here. So anyway, Jim Beam. Hey, what's up? Straight Sith Mail's also here. So people are rolling in. I am so humbled by this that y'all I go live and poof, there you are. That's fantastic. It's just fantastic. So anyway, yesterday we were talking about these groups that they said that someone recommended that you donate to these groups. One was the Equal Justice Initiative, and we went through their website yesterday. And the other one was for Center for Policing Equity. And so I'm on their site here, and I'll show you here. And I noticed something unusual. So the other group that we looked at yesterday at least was fairly well updated, right? And I'm looking at, well, thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. She says, try to catch you anytime I can when you're live. I really appreciate that. This is called the Center for Policing Equity. But what's unusual about it is that the Center for Policing Equity doesn't seem to have had an update since August of 2019. So since last year. Let's see, the latest article on this site. Oh, there's a September. So there's a September. So I found that fascinating. So anyway, but we're going to take a look at, let's go with what we do. We'll hit the tab here. Okay, yeah, learn more, donate, whatever. Over the last 10 years, the CPE has partners with 25 plus police departments nationwide and demonstrated the transformative impact of data-driven interventions. I noticed that our local Minneapolis Police Department is on this list. Cairo Alexander, how you doing? Good morning. Hey, Larry. Oh, no, it's Hey, Larry. I read it wrong. I jumped the gun when I saw the hey, but it's actually Hey, Larry. What's up? So anyway, so now look. Data-driven interventions. In Seattle, they worked in mental health. Minneapolis, homelessness, mental health. Salt Lake City, immigration enforcement. San Jose, vehicle searches. Las Vegas, foot pursuits. Dallas, Fort Worth, data analysis and tracing. Same in Birmingham, Alabama. Houston, immigration enforcement. Baltimore, patrol practices. Pittsburgh, patrol practices. Gary, data analysis training. And then Minneapolis, homelessness and mental health. I don't know what that means. Let us know if you want to join us at CP's event next time in your state. I don't know. And then their newsroom here. Now, this is what I wanted to see. Are there any nope. Last update in their newsroom. Again, September 2019. So whoever is recommending this, I don't know if they've really looked at what they were recommending. It's curious. But here's their tab called Fighting Bias. Change happens when people start talking. We are research scientists, race and equity experts, data virtuosos, and community trainers using data as tools to build more fair and just systems. It's critical that when we begin with strong law enforcement partnerships, it is critical that we begin with strong law enforcement partnerships, but we need you too. The Justice Nerds are a band of citizens not afraid to stand and show our commitment to stopping racial bias before it starts. Police reform is hard, but it can work. We are marching to a goal. It's exciting and energizing. Justice Nerds are the ones that stave off the temptation to despair when it seems that progress is in retreat. We will reduce violence, save lives, and reduce racial disparities. We need citizens' engagement and support to keep our research independent. That's very interesting. So, here's my issue. I don't think this problem, good morning, Kessler, by the way. Gloomy, wait, what? Gloomy in Minnesota right now? No, it's not gloomy. It's bright, sunny day. It's probably 69, 70 degrees. I don't know what the temperature is outside. It was nice when I was out this morning watering my plants. Unless all of a sudden it's raining. It's not raining. No, it's the temperature here today. 72 degrees, sunny and 72. It's beautiful outside. In fact, I'm going to go out and mow my lawn after I'm done here. So here's the thing. If they're truly data driven, it would seem that they would understand the problem with this police brutality issue, which is an issue, isn't really, it's not biased based on race. At least that's my perception. Now, how in the hell would I have a perception like that? Well, I will tell you. Because this issue of even the issue of the killing of unarmed individuals, it happens to multiple races of people, right? It happens to multiple races of people. It doesn't just happen to black people. Although if you only got information from national news, you would think that they are killing an unarmed black man every day, because we hear the stories every day, regardless of how old the story is. So when George Floyd's is killed, you automatically hear about Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown and Sandra Bland and multiple names. There's multiple names over a time period of probably 10. Let's see, it's 2020. They tend to go back to about 2008, or actually 2005. There's one of them that's back to 2005. But you hear the same names over and over and over, and you hear but the only names you hear are the names of black men for the most part, except for Sandra Bland, who they use now they're using whatever. The woman, and now I'm blanking out her name, the recent one in Louisville where they came in and shot her after the person she was with shot at police. That's another weird one. So they keep talking about her, and I understand that she died because of a faulty warrant, or it seems to be faulty. Maybe it was a faulty address in the warrant. That's my impression. But does anyone mention that the police were fired on? Now, they shouldn't have been in there anyway. They made a mistake. Breonna Taylor, thank you. I was blanking out. But that I didn't even know until we read that article yesterday that the person with Breonna Taylor shot at the police. And thinking it was a home intruder. That's why. Okay, so that's another reason why you're probably serving a knockless warrant. I had never even heard of a knockless warrant. A knockless warrant where they breach the property without knocking. You know what? If I have a firearm, which I don't in my house, although I'm thinking about it. I'm not against firearms. I just don't have any. But if I'm in a place where all of a sudden I hear an invasion in my house and people coming at me, I might do that too. I might shoot at whoever's coming in too. If I hear a bunch of people coming in, yelling, screaming in my house, so the guy that was with Breonna Taylor shot at the police, and then they returned fire, many, many rounds, and they were in the wrong house, and they killed Breonna Taylor. And that's messed up. Good morning, Duck Dog, Kessler, Peter Allman. Peter Allman, what's up? I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. Good morning, Cynical Lindsay. So man, it's just, but okay. So for example, now I don't necessarily, let's go to this case. I'll go to a case that you don't hear about. Now look, if you go to local news, you might hear some of these other stories. But for example, like I said, I was bringing up the stat the other day that, of 10 million arrests, last year. 1,004 involved a police shooting. Vast majority were people who attacked police with guns or other weapons. 43 unarmed people killed last year. 19 of the 43 white people. 9 of the 43 black people. I don't know a single. I don't know. Not that I don't necessarily even want to know the names, but if I'm going to know the names of one small subset, I should probably know the others, because I'll tell you what, here's the thing. And I don't think this should be necessary, but maybe it is, or maybe, I don't know. But if you really want to get the people who are out protesting against police brutality even more support, how about talking about all the cases of police brutality and not just the ones against us? Because it's not just us. Look, and that's the people who... Cindy Rochelle, you're absolutely right that it just killed. The police brutality isn't always fatal. Yeah, no, there's plenty of examples of police brutality that need to be highlighted, and we need to fix that. Power tripping police officers, and understand that it's not just. It's a much wider problem than just against these examples of black people getting killed. It's like, again, it's a power tripping thing. But I'll look at this case with, let's see, let's do the 6-minute version of this. We're going to look at this video of something that happened in 2016 that I had never heard of until someone brought it up recently. And I don't know why I've never heard of it. So this is the case of Tony Timpa. Let's do it this way. Okay, so this is from the Dallas. Let's start at the beginning here. Okay, August 10th, 2016. Now, here's the thing. I'm not 100% sure why the officers waited so long to subdue this guy. I think maybe they think he was on drugs, and they hadn't secured his feet yet. So, but it's just disturbing watching this. So it took him 3 years. Part of the reason we're not talking about this too is it took 3 years to get the footage from this. So they just got the footage from this last year from the body cams, because this has been an ongoing battle in this particular case. There's 4 officers there, and for some reason they haven't. Now, all they need to do is secure his legs, roll him on his side, and take him to the car. But instead, for 13 minutes, they got this guy in the ground. Police brutality is exaggerated by the many state enforcing BS laws. Yeah, I'll get to that, Cindy. You're absolutely right. So, So once they restrain his feet, now this guy's still on his back with his both knees on his back. This guy. So obviously you're gonna have no volume. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. There's the volume now. I turned it off because I was gonna add some music today. I'll do that after this video.
Green Oaks cocktail special.
Yeah.
It is. That's what she said.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting comment. So this whole time, the one guy's got both knees in his back. He's having a hard time. Oh, he's down on one knee.
Now he's like rolling, pulling. I was like,
But this is the point where they need to roll him on the side, get him up, and get him in the car. There's 4 officers there. Why aren't you doing that? Why are you still on top of this guy? All right, I'm not gonna show the whole thing because I don't need to see him. I don't need to see him die on stream. But the guy, basically, it's the same, almost the same scenario as with George Floyd. And what's interesting is people are starting to get this name out. Cities and states are not going to disband the police because it's too lucrative. They're not going to disband the police because the police do serve a function. Okay, but clearly there's got to be some reform. Oh yeah, they did, and they did give him a sedative too. But I don't know if that was even. Here, I'm gonna get this off the screen here. Anyway, so for 13 minutes they are on this guy's back, and he dies just like George Floyd did. You know, and then I just talked to you the case about the guy getting shot through the window while he's sleeping at 4:30 a.m. I mean, first of all, I don't know what the fuck they were shooting at. They certainly weren't shooting at return fire. The guy was still in his bed, laying next to his pregnant girlfriend. I mean, it almost sounds like God. That happened in the 60s. What was his name? One of the Black Panther leaders got killed in the 60s, laying in his bed next to his pregnant wife, and the FBI went in and shot him dead in the middle of the night. But that again, if you're actually trying to arrest somebody, you don't need to do that. But God damn. You can't disband the police. They serve a necessary function, but they sure need to. First of all, well, yeah, someone said something about they enforce too many BS laws. I think that was Cindy. Forfeiture laws are BS. Even the law that the reason Eric Garner's dead. I, to this day, will not say that it's because the police were trying to kill him. But he's dead because they decided to enforce a law very aggressively and told them. It wasn't Marcus Garvey, or no, it wasn't Garvey. You're thinking of it wasn't Huey Newton. What the hell was that guy's name? I think you're the Black Panther. I can't remember. Hello, no one, nowhere. Thanks for dropping in today. I don't know his name, but yeah, it's very, very frustrating. So, in other news, by the way, thank you, Grillin' Pirate Pete and Cynical Lindsay, for retweeting the stream out today. I really hope that cops here handle it better than they did in bigger places. Starting on the town green as we speak, marching towards police station. Oh, there are protests where you are today. I know there's the big one in D.C. today. They're thinking they might get up to 1 million people marching on the White House. You know, I'm still fascinated also by how this particular incident with George Floyd, in which everybody immediately came out and said, you know what, this is wrong, this is absolutely screwed up. How this incident became about Donald Trump. How did that happen? Especially considering the fact that Donald Trump immediately when Donald Trump heard about this, immediately was saying, you know what? That is wrong. I've asked the Justice Department and our own investigators to investigate this. Bill Barr was ready to be involved in it. Like immediately before there was ever even before the first protest, everyone who saw this, everyone was on the same page for 5 minutes. How did this turn out being about Trump? Well, it's an election year, so the talking heads on the media make it sound like, oh, this is a new problem, or all these happened under Trump's administration. Wait, whoa. Who was president when a vast majority of these high-profile cases showed up? Wasn't Donald Trump. Sure wasn't. I mean, clearly, if you can go all the way back to, the biggest high-profile, the first big high-profile one was obviously Rodney King. Was Rodney King in the 90s? Was that during the Clinton administration? I can't remember. There was a couple during Bush, but boy, the big high-profile ones, Black Lives Matter and all that, when that organization started, well, that was under... Yeah, that guy. You know who that is. So, I don't know. I saw something today too. I know that people get upset. People who use the phrase Black Lives Matter get upset when someone pops up and goes, well, all lives matter. And I saw a little, it was a TikTok video. It was pretty good. And there's a woman with a house on fire behind her. And she wants to call the fire department. Quick, call the fire department. Call the fire department, right? And then there's another woman standing in front of another house going, well, what about my house? And the woman's like, wait a minute, but my house is on fire. But what about my house? All houses matter. Okay, that's a bad analogy. Or if someone, when someone says Black Lives Matter, someone says all lives matter, and they say, well, we're talking about black people right now. No. Here's probably a better way to look at it. Okay, and if you ever, and I don't get in an argument by running out the all lives matter thing, but here's probably a better argument, because if you see someone, let's say you see someone else who uses all lives matter, and during this Black Lives Matter thing, I was watching, I think it was Scott Adams, who made a good point. He goes, is that your standard? Is that all? That's the biggest state, state that the Black Lives Matter. There's some people who believe, of course, maybe we're trying to convince ourselves that Black Lives Matter, but here's the thing. If you want to be a subset, then it almost makes it like it's only the subset's problem. When in reality, this police brutality issue is not just a black problem. There's a bigger problem, see? And so if you would be able to understand that, well, like I said, the 19 unarmed white people are killed by police last year, and the 9 black unarmed people that were killed last year, doesn't that magnify the problem that you're trying to fix so that we can fix it for all the people? It's a state problem. It's a power problem. Now, we have too many people, and look, it's still from a police interaction standpoint, even from an arrest standpoint, because again, 10 million arrests across the country last year for various reasons. Okay, and about 1,000 involved a shooting. Okay, it's a small percentage. It's still man bites dog, but it is so essential that you want the mission of an officer to bring the potential defendant in alive so that their justice could actually be served. George Floyd should either be sitting in a jail right now or at home because he got out on bail waiting for his court date. That's where George Floyd should be right now. And had the training officer, now use that word again, the training officer, because Derek Chauvin was a training officer training 2 new rookie police officers, and then I don't know what the third officer was. Clearly, Derek Chauvin had no business training anybody, but he's been on the force for 23 years or whatever it is, and despite the fact that he's had several issues with complaints of brutality that apparently nobody took care of, including our own former Attorney General Amy Klobuchar, he's out there training people and to kill somebody while the other 2 guys in training are right there. Now, those 2 guys who were aspiring police officers are now fucked for life. And George Floyd is dead. And holy shit. You know. Now, the other point of focus that maybe gets talked about by the Candace Owens of the world. And one, you know, look, I don't mean to go back to Candace Owens just to rip on her, but so she's not all wrong on some of the things she says. She just doesn't have any tact, doesn't know how to speak about things in a way that maybe people can understand. You know, obviously, when the Los Angeles Times puts out an article saying that police shootings are now listen. Maybe I should look. I remember this article from a while back. Let me see if I can find this. Police shootings leading cause of death for black men. Let's see. Los Angeles Times. Here it is. This is an article they put out last year. When was this? Was it last year? Getting killed by police is a leading cause of death for young black men in America. Wow, that headline doesn't what's the purpose of the headline? First of all, to inflame, I'm guessing. But so here's the article. This is from March 16th, 2019. And remember what I told you about? Well, here, I'll just read it. About 1 in 1,000 black men and boys in America can expect to die at the hands of police, according to a new analysis of death involving law enforcement officers. That makes them 2.5 times more likely than white men and boys to die during an encounter with cops. That's interesting, because at least now if you do the math, we know that 0.1%, based on this study, we don't know if it's completely accurate, but we can guess it's accurate enough. And we know that 0.39% of white men get killed by police. Okay. I don't know, that's that 2.5? Yeah, that's roughly 2.5 times. Okay. That's now the problem, the way they do the statistical analysis here, that's not necessarily true. Okay. That's because that's raw numbers across the board. It doesn't now per police encounter, or just numerically period. We know that more white people are killed by police than black people every year. And in fact, there hasn't been a year. I don't even know if there's been a year where there are more black people killed by police than white. I don't think it's happened. That's, now granted, do you want to go per capita? Yeah. It is more, but again, there's a whole lot of factors that determine whether or not an officer kills somebody. And also, this is the raw numbers too. So, includes everyone who is justifiably killed by police officers. Police officers encounter more weapons, and there's a whole ton of factors. So it's them, but this is a way to use raw numbers to inflame people. The analysis also showed that Latino men and boys, black women and girls, and Native American men, women, and children are also killed by police at higher rates than their white peers. But the vulnerability of black males was particularly striking. Then they go in here, and again, they use that 1 in 1,000 number struck us as quite high, said study leader Frank Edwards, a sociologist at Rutgers University. That's better odds of being killed by police than you have of winning a lot of scratch-off lottery games. It's, oh my God, it's just stupid. That's a stupid comparison. But anyway, the number crunchies by Edwards hit his co-authors, also revealed that for all young men, police violence was one of the. Now here's the sentence that cracks me up. Police violence was one of the leading causes of death in the years 2013 through 2018. One of the leading causes of death of young black men. So when I first saw this article, I'm like, damn, I had no idea. So here's, and then they have a chart down here. Deadly toll of police violence. A new study finds that about 1 in 1,000 black men and boys can expect to die as a result of police violence. As a result of police violence. Now that's a fascinating way to phrase that. That is a fascinating, because when you hear that sentence, and this is the problem with the media right now. That's why this pisses me off. When I read this, okay, it says, men and boys can expect to die as a result of police violence. how often is police violence a reaction to violence? That sounds like it's just all of a sudden police came up and just started shooting. The police aggressively attacked these innocent children. The police violence. A risk that's about 2.5 times higher than their white peers. Oh, so their white peers also die from police violence? So the police are just out here shooting people for no reason? The annual risk rises and falls with age and is highest for young men. Here's how it compares to other leading causes of death for black men in their 20s. Now, assaults, 94.2%. Now, I don't know what years they used they said they use a 5-year average. Now, remember, they're talking about young men. Young men of all demographics, or young people, have normally a fairly low mortality rate, right? They have, so it's rare for younger people to die of a lot of anything. Like, for example, old people aren't dying from murders as much as because they're dying from old age. So this is, again, young men. So they say that assault, meaning murder, now, I don't know why they're using a mortality rate. This is not even, per 100,000. Wait, this is so deaths per 100,000. Okay. Ages 25 to 29 is what they're using here. Now I used the Center for Disease Control, and I was looking at this. This is the 2015. So I don't know why they say 2015 to 2018. Figures is the median of 2013 to 2018 mortality rate calculated. Okay, so of 100,000 black men, ages 25 to 29, in this study, 94.2 mortality rate. Why 94.2 per 100,000? Oh, I see. 94.2 for 100,000. Accidents, 52.1. Suicide, 17.5. Heart disease, 14. So, wait a minute. We're not there yet. But, wow, assaults, accidents, suicide are all pretty big, and the numbers are getting smaller. Heart disease, 14%. HIV, 6.8. Cancer, 6.2. Police use of force, 3.4. Then diabetes, 2.8. Probably because young people don't die from diabetes. And influenza, pneumonia, 2. Chronic lower respiratory disease, 2. Cerebrovascular disease. So, yeah, because the rates of death of 100,000 ages 25 to 29, it's pretty low for those other things, right? But when you actually look at the Center for Disease Control, it's even more interesting. When you say what percentage of people die from these things, and 50% of those young black men who die at that age, 51%, I think, of young men who die at that age, or at least black men, die from the murder-assault portion. So when you add all these up together, you can add all the other ones up together, and they don't add up to the assault, aka being murdered. But it is, so them using the idea that getting killed by police is a leading cause of death for young black men in America, just because it makes a list of, at least their list of 10 things. I'm kind of wondering, wait a minute. What's the leading, not a, what is the leading cause of death of young black men in America? Because the police use of force, again, there's a percentage that are justified. Probably 90%, 95%, maybe more than that. We can go look at that study later. So, but more than 50% of men who die at that age die because they're murdered. Now, if you go on the Center for Disease Control site, if you look at the same thing for white men, it's 8% murders of who die at that age. Vast majority of people at that age. Normally, if you took out the murder one out of here, the sequence is pretty close to the same for white men at that age. Accidents, suicide, heart disease, HIV, cancer, and diabetes, other diseases, various diseases, and accidents. And then, but the murder one's like down at number 8 for white kids and their guys, young men, and it's number 1 for black men. So murders, the police use of force, and then if you break down the police use of force, where I would say that, for example, George Floyd would be obviously a police use of force that probably is unjustified, that they should be charged for. I wish maybe they could break it down. How many unjustified use of force in that 3.4 rate per 100,000? I'm going to guess that's a leading cause of death. So that's where I get they'll publish something like this that makes that you if you really break it down, but yet we know every single name of those, right? Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Tamir, and they always throw in Trayvon Martin, even though he was not killed by a policeman. But you know what? Black Lives Matter. I bet we save a lot of black lives if we could fix that. And fuck those cops that killed George Floyd. Right? It doesn't change my view of what happened to George Floyd. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care if George Floyd shot a baby in the face. He should not have died that way. So when Candace is out here talking about George's record, even though Candace says that, she says it over and over, and Glenn Beck in the tweet that the president retweeted said, doesn't mean George Floyd should have died that way, then what's the point of bringing all this other shit up? Yes, we know George Floyd was an imperfect, at best, human being. But he's a human being that in our justice system deserves to go to trial. So I'm so stuck on this. And I'm not, I don't know. Here, let me just do something real quick here. I'm not going to stream for much longer, but for while I am, we might as well have some. Oops, hang on, stop that. We might as well have some tunes, right? It's like, what's he doing? What's going on? So let me get this down to a volume that won't blow you away. There we go. It's Saturday afternoon live. Saturday night live. What am I saying? Saturday afternoon. I'm night. So, I wanted to check out Twitter. I was wondering if the DC protests have started yet. Let's see. Yeah, they're packed in there. Here we go. This is a live. Well, this is not live. So. Oh, gee, they've got a chant. They're doing chants. Okay. And again, it's an important issue. This is live at Washington, D.C. Not a lot of social distancing going on, but people seem to be wearing masks and shit. Let's see. I don't know if there's any live feeds. I'm sure there are. Washington, D.C. expects the city's largest protest since George Floyd's death. I'll click that off of here. D.C. about to have a day for the books. A lot of surreal scenes all over the nation's capital. So here's some of the people who are here to protect the White House. You know what? I do not have a good feeling about today. There's and the people who are protesting, the million strong or whatever they got, people, they've got people out to protect the Lincoln Memorial, other monuments. I pray that this goes off peacefully today, and I know the organizers want it to, but I'm concerned at how the crowd is going to be, how they're going to be able to control the crowd. The people who aren't of the mindset that this should be peaceful. And it is not the organizers. It's not, I don't know. Peaceful march down Central Park West moments ago. This is city, I guess. I don't. Everyone should be able to speak their voice, but the vibe is getting less peaceful even in the daytime. Yeah, it is. I don't know how they're going to control this at all. Or even if do they attempt to control it? I don't know. They should. I mean, let's see. Second memorial service will be held for George Floyd today in Rayford, North Carolina, where several of his family members live. Up to 3,000 people are expected to attend, with a public viewing followed by a private service for the family. That's live that's at the memorial service. If you can see that there. Breaking: ABC News confirms Buffalo, New York police officers Aaron Torgolaski and Robert McCabe were charged with second-degree assault in connection with the graphic caught-on-video shove of a 75-year-old man during a protest. Both have pleaded not guilty. That's this is what they're talking about here. Let's see. Oh, it won't come up screen-wise. What happened here? Did you guys lose sound at all? Maybe not. No, you guys can talk to me. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's just no sound in this video. Okay, forget that. Anyway, interesting in that thing with the Buffalo police officers. they're playing up that it was a 75-year-old man. I don't think they needed to push him, but you don't know what people are coming at you with. I'm torn on those things. If a line of police officers are coming at you and you come at them, I don't know. They don't know what's in your hands. Is anyone else torn on that one? If you're torn on that one, hit 1. If you say, fuck those guys, they shouldn't have pushed that guy, say 2. If you're not sure, say 3. I guess torn and not sure are the same. But anyway, let's see. There's a demonstration against. Oh, this is it. Let's look at some of the demonstrations against racism and police brutality that are taking place around the globe. So these are all over the world, from Berlin to Tokyo. A look at the anti-racism protests that's taking place around the globe. You would think that brothers get shot in the streets every 5 minutes for being black. Like, you would think that the reason George Floyd got killed was because he was black. and Denzel Washington's probably going to get in trouble for what he said, but I'm going to show you what he said. Let's see if I can find this spot here. Here's Denzel. Okay, this is here. Listen to
Yes, and Roman, I hope to reward.
It was something I read where you talked about your people from Mount Vernon saying that, like they've done like 40 years in the penitentiary together. So, and, incarceration rates in America has been a problem, especially as opposed to minorities.
Yeah,
and Roman delves into the issues around the legal system. Do you think we've made any headway in the
I
legal
think it's more important to make headway in our own house.
ding.
By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, "Yeah, they're little yummies." I said, "Who?" He said, "Little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy." Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system?
Right. So, yeah, a lot of it's not just it's not people being locked up for nothing. Now, again, there are some laws out there that you go, really? You got someone locked up 10 years for that nonviolent shit? But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not like all these people locked up are locked up because they were selling lemonade on the corner illegally. They didn't have an illegal lemonade stand. Okay? Remember when I said that half of the men who die age 15 to 45 with much my melanin factor, although there's most who are darker than me. 50% of people who die who are male from those ages die from murder, not police brutality. Police brutality is way down there on that leading cause list that they called it. It's way down there. Unjustified killings even way farther down there, probably not even barely could smell it from the list. And so, and that's the other thing that, none of this brings back George Floyd, but it's one of those things that we got to get under control. If, let's put it this way, in that example earlier that I saw, it was a TikTok video or something, when the one woman's in front of the house and the house is on fire and the other woman is in a house that's not on fire, and she says, call the fire department, and she's like, well, what about my house? It matters too. Well, actually, okay, when it comes to, let's say you've got an earthquake over in that neighborhood, and your she shed is on fire in this neighborhood. Which neighborhood needs more help? You know, I don't want to. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. If anyone sees that and goes, "Well, he's comparing Black Lives to she shed." No, I'm not. I'm just saying that yes, it's absolutely a problem. But man, I just want some energy for that. What the real problem seems to be. You know, it's funny too. It's still rare for someone that young to die. But man, anyway. So.
Where's the future? Right. Where's the future? Right. Where's the future? Right. Where's the future? Right. Where's the future? Right.
Okay, that just keeps.
Where's the future? Right. Where's the future?
You know, and okay, so look at this. This is a group of little kids who are growing up believing that police are intentionally coming and killing black people. Don't shoot us. Don't shoot us. Yes, I did say she shed. Have you ever seen the? Oh, I don't know where you're from, Sean. Aren't you from Ireland? There's a commercial here in the United States. It's an insurance commercial where this couple has an outbuilding, like a shed, like a storage shed in their backyard, and the woman has turned the shed into her little personal space, made it look like a little house with the couches and stuff in there. It's kind of a takeoff on the man cave, but you know, for some reason you can't talk about a man cave in commercials. Oh, you're in Illinois. Never mind. Well, I thought, oh no, not you. Who's in? Someone else is in Ireland. Anyway, okay, never mind. But it's like the she shed. The she shed on fire in like an Allstate commercial. Does this cover my she shed? Anyway, you know, if you're teaching little kids to be afraid of police, I don't get it. Elijah Divine, this is not a festival. People are dying. Says movement isn't about walking and listening to music. It's about changing legislation, police reform, prison reform. Remember why you're here. He's probably mad at people who are out there having a party, because some of these people are just out there having a party. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta, I don't know, do what you do. And I don't know, these are just some pictures from it, from the protest, the Washington Monument in the background. Unfortunately, there aren't any live feeds. I want to just maybe show a live feed if there were any. Doesn't seem like there are any. Maybe there's one on YouTube. Let me go my homepage on YouTube, see if there's anything going on here. A lot of times they'll have somebody out there. By the way, I don't know if you saw my thumbnail today. I would, if you get a chance, take a look at the thumbnail. It's very subtle. It's hard to read, but you'll get it when you see it, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. I don't want to show CNN. I don't want to show. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone has any live feeds going. Yeah, Fox News. Fox News is talking about the 70th anniversary of D-Day, or at least has a video about it. That's the Post. All right, doesn't look, I'm scanning through here. Let's go back to Twitter. I'm gonna close these YouTube windows real quick. Yeah, no one has any. I don't see any live ones. Here's the and this is Union Park in Chicago, where they're having the same event today. I think they're doing these during the time between the funerals. Obviously, the second funeral is today in North Carolina. The first funeral was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. I was put off by the fact that Al Sharpton was there, this grifting ass. Sure, Shaggy, how you doing? I didn't see you come in. Good morning. Or good afternoon, I should say. All right, so let's go back. Let's see if I can find anything else here. Well, anyway, let's do this. I'm going to go. Let's go. Wow, Barron Trump is trending today. Great. Oh, great. The hashtag. Wow, this is weird. So. Oh, my God. This is going to make the activists unhappy. So I'm going on to Twitter trends right now. Trending number 1 on Twitter right now, you would think would be Black Lives Matter or protest in Washington or something like that. Trending number 1 on Twitter right now is Destiny 2, a video game. Yay! All right. Okay. I'm shocked. Usually the Twitter powers that be manipulate the trending topics. If you didn't know that, yes, they do that. Oh, good gracious. There's our number 1 top donor of the day so far. Thank you to Rideos. You get that's the little the K-pop fan cam. If you've been around here long enough, you know I like to give I give my opinion. K-pop, I just don't get it. But anyway, thank you to Rai. Says New York City is more important in a disaster than the cities still affected by Katrina. That's one way where we have the disparities. Yeah, that's truth. If it happened in New York, Washington, or Los Angeles, it's just not that important unless you can blame it on a politician you don't like. So that's kind of how the world of news works. So Destiny 2, thank you again to Rideos. New top donor of the day. Woohoo! Only donor of the day. That's okay. but that's you're number 1 with me anyway. So Destiny 2. Is this because okay, I don't understand why Destiny 2 is trending number 1. Are they comparing the world, what's happening in the world to Destiny 2? I don't know. All right, enough. I don't care. I haven't played Destiny yet, so I have Destiny 2 is not on me. Black Lives Matter is trending number 2. Thousands joins Black Lives Matter protests around the UK. There's huge crowds in London doing this. Multiple demonstrations are planned across the country in solidarity with protests in the U.S. that are demanding justice for the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and several others. Earlier, government officials warned people not to attend large gatherings due to COVID-19. Oh, they mentioned COVID-19? Oh, my goodness. In fact, it even gets one of these. They mentioned COVID-19. Awesome. So the aerial footage shows thousands of people gathered in London's Parliament Square to protest against George Floyd's death and police brutality. I wonder if any of this protest will turn into rioting and looting. I don't know why. It's fascinating that, the solidarity that's happening around the world concerning this, now chanting Black Lives Matter, speakers saying institutional racism in the UK must end. Okay, name the institution and we'll get on it. Name the institution that is institutionally racist. We want to get rid of those systemic systems of systems or something like that. I don't know. Okay. Also under Black Lives Matter tag. That's Berlin, right? That's how it looks in Berlin right now. This is really, really big. U.S. protesters are already learning from Hong Kong. Keep learning and adapting. Oh, great. What now?
Exhibit A, umbrellas. Umbrellas became a signature of Hong Kong protests in 2014, when people started using them as shields against tear gas and pepper spray. Seattle and DC protesters recently adopted the same tactic.
Okay. Hong Kong's protesting a completely different thing, though. Like
In Hong Kong,
actual
also previously used traffic cones to minimize the spread of tear gas.
mega oppression, and they're trying to take away Hong Kong's freedom.
The
Okay,
same move
the problem
was
with this
recently
is,
seen at a protest in Portland.
Deploying Hong Kong tactics here. Deploying Hong Kong tactics here to stop these tear gas grenades.
Jeffrey Ngo, the chief strategist for a Hong Kong pro-democracy party, says that these hacks have been learned from online videos.
And one example that I've been able to see was a video with a middle-aged man trying to blow away tear gas in Hong Kong with his leaf blower. And the video probably had no more than a couple of thousand views.
What's interesting about this, too, is, well, never mind. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about these fuckers. All right, let's move on. This is epic. Oh, that's the street. By the way, the mayor of Washington, D.C. had this Black Lives Matter painted onto the street. So that's not just a overlay that you're looking at. This is the White House right here. And this street leading straight to the White House, she had Black Lives Matters painted on the street. And she renamed this Black Lives Matter Plaza. They put up street signs and whatnot. Oh yeah, these leftists weren't big Hong Kong supporters. Ain't that the truth? Hi Katie, how you doing? Welcome. And oh hi Mr. Hugh also. Yeah, no, they weren't. These weren't people that were. These people weren't supporting the Hong Kong protests. They should have been, but you know the problem is the Hong Kong protests were too pro-Trump. I think that's why I think they didn't. So anyway, holy shit. Anyway, yeah, so that's, yeah, the mayor of, please. All mothers were summoned when he called out for his mama. Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of people who, now, oh, let me see this. You know, when they do lists like this, so this is when they make a list of everyone who've been killed by police. Problem is, I guarantee you, when you go through this list, you're going to find people who were shooting at police or about to kill somebody. These aren't just innocent victims. These are just all the victims that happen to be black. And that's where I get frustrated. You know, look, we do not want police doing this shit. We do not want police killing people in a process where someone should never be killed. But I also don't expect a police officer to I don't expect an officer to voluntarily get killed in the line of duty either. So racism caught on cell phone, and this is racism in a whole. You know what? I do not dispute that there is racism in the world. I don't. Is it anything like what I went through when I was a kid? Pfft. These people are a bunch of pussies. How are you going to tell me white privilege isn't real? Come on now. Okay. Someone else. Kayla Bennett claims white privilege isn't real. She wore an AR-15 rifle on her back to her graduation and walked away unharmed. Tamir Bryce played with a toy gun and was fatally shot in the chest for it. His murderer walks free to this day. White privilege is real. Well, God. This person in another time and place and situation had this reaction, and this person in another time and place with a completely different situation had this reaction or event happen to him. If you ever watched the video of Tamir Rice, and Tamir Rice, did the cops act too fast? Maybe. Did, they play up the fact that he's a 12-year-old boy and he's just playing with a toy gun. Okay. Well, Tamir Rice absolutely should be alive today. Tamir Rice had an airsoft gun with the orange safety tip that was broken off to make it look like a real gun. Tamir Rice was in a park. People walking by. He was pointing the gun. Now, Tamir Rice was 5'7", like 190. He's a big, heavy-set kid. At 160 pounds, 170 pounds. So 5'7". There's men 5'7". He's dressed all for winter weather, so you don't know how, if you look at a glance, you have no idea. In fact, the video that was taken of this from an apartment window looking down, you had no idea how old the person was. And the person who called the police is the one who took the video, saying that there was a man, didn't say a 12-year-old child playing with a gun. The police call was, there is a man in the park pointing a gun at people. As people walked by, and Tamir Rice is in an overcoat and a hat and has his toy gun, the airsoft gun that has the orange safety tip telling you that it is not a real gun, broken off. He is, as people walk by through the park, he's walking up to them and pointing the gun at them, and they run. Or they avoid him. They're running away. And as you're watching the video from the window, you have no idea how old this person is. He's 5'7", with a gun that looks real, pointing at people, scaring people in the park. As the police drive up to him, which they may have reacted too soon, however, not knowing that he's a 12-year-old boy with a toy gun, as they drive up to him on a call where they're told there is a man in the park pointing a gun at people, Tamir Rice turns and points the gun at the police car as it's driving up. And the police shot him, and he took a bullet to the chest and died. Did he die because he's black? That same year, I believe there were 9 kids shot who were playing with toy guns that looked real. I think it was that year. Was it that year? I don't know. Not all of them black. No, I think he was tall. He's a tall young kid. He's 5'7", I believe. Anyway. Now, it's an awful tragedy. Oh, you should have waited. You shouldn't have shot first. You should have shot when they pointed that gun at you. It was a toy gun. How are the police supposed to know that? How do you know if it's a toy gun? Are they supposed to wait and see if it fires real bullets before they shoot when it's pointing straight at you? I don't know. It's a tragedy. What happened to my music? What the hell happened here? Do you all hear music? I don't hear music. Oh, that's what I see what happened. It's So, you know, and obviously we're mad because the killers of Tamir Rice didn't go to jail. Well, it's not so simple. Now, in the case of George Floyd, cut and dry. They're arresting a man who should be sitting in a jail cell or awaiting his trial right now, either in a jail cell or at home on bail. That's their obligation and duty. It's not their obligation and duty to take a bullet. Because imagine this. Imagine if Tamir Rice pointing a gun at people in a park. But imagine if he had snuck his dad's gun out to just play around with it. And there would be a bullet in the chamber. And he's pointing it at people just as a joke. Because again, he's just playing with the toy gun, right? He's obviously not out there to shoot anybody. But what if it was a real gun? And there was a bullet in the chamber? And so the officers, when they drive up and he points the gun at him, he accidentally pulls the trigger and kills the officer. Is that the officer's obligation to take the bullet first? If you don't know, if someone points a gun at you, how do you know it's a toy gun? You don't, because the orange safety tip was not on the gun, so it looked real. Now, should there be laws against having those types of toy guns anymore? Maybe that it should be quite required that that toy guns be pink or purple, and then make it illegal to manufacture a real gun that is pink or purple. I don't know. But every time. So this example, this Caitlin Bennett, and then look, now Caitlin Bennett going to graduation with an AR on her back. You know, that's the argument here. Oh, white privilege isn't real. Was she legally carrying an AR on her back? Yeah. Was she pointing it at anybody? Nope. Again, stop trying to equate this situation with that completely different situation. Even if it's, in fact, happens a lot when people start talking about different police incidents. Well, this case in Scotts Bluff, Nebraska, where I don't know, I'm just making this up. They got the naked guy without killing him. But then you shot this black man who was running naked with a machete in Atlanta. Two different police departments, two different situations, two different people, two different situations, two different levels of experience, whatever. Yeah, but she pooed herself. She's invalid. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, and then we have the economic protest like this. Don't spend any money on July 7th. The Black Lives Matter movement is holding a nationwide economic blackout. Black people account for $1.2 trillion in annual U.S. spending. With just one day of no spending by POC and allies, we could keep billions out from the economy. Money talks. Let's speak their language. Okay, you know why this doesn't work? I see these every once in a while. Okay, we're just not going to spend any money on July 7th, right? So you don't spend any money on July 7th, but then you know what? You go to the store to stock up for July 7th on July 6th, and then you go to the store on July 8th to buy things you ran out of on July 7th. Whatever. It says July 7th. Yeah, that's what I thought it said. Anyway, so July 7th. Yeah. Those don't work. Hello, Evan. Evan S. What's happening? Evil One. Good morning. Or good afternoon. I'm sorry. It's afternoon. I'm so used to doing this in the morning that I always say morning. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. When we was asking with them, the Civil Rights Movement, we was asking. Those people that asked are dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're going to do? Ask? That's Tupac's back. My way. Tupac's was saying, I won't play it. Looting explained. Oh, let's hear this explanation.
Trevor Noah said it so beautifully last night. There's a social contract that we all have, that if you steal or if I steal, then the person who is the authority comes in and they fix the situation. But the person who fixes the situation is killing us. So the social contract is broken. And if the social contract is broken, why the fuck do I give a shit about burning the fucking Football Hall of Fame, about burning a fucking Target? You broke the contract when you killed us in the streets and didn't give a fuck. You broke the contract when for 400 years we played your game and built your wealth. You broke the contract when we built our wealth again on our own by our bootstraps in Tulsa, and you dropped bombs on us. When we built it in Rosewood,
you
and you
live in
Trevor
that
Noah
time.
said it so beautifully last night. There's a so
again. This comes from the idea that it's just a black problem. We're told that's that. Someone benefits from making sure that you told it's that. And I can't even get mad at this woman. Even though she's completely wrong as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion. Not everyone agrees with me, obviously. But you know what? That's because there's certainly a element of media, there's an element of activists, there's an element of, dare I say the word, grifter, that benefits from making sure that we're at each other's throats, and this is a problem that if they can use this to make us believe this, to amplify this, that's a whole different type of control. Somebody benefits from this, but we don't all benefit from it. And I feel awful that there are people who believe this, that they don't see that this is a state power issue. It's a, and I, you know what? I'm one of those people who support the police when they're not fucking up, when they're doing their job, if someone breaks into my house, the first person I'm going to call, I'm going to get a police report. I want hopefully they solve the crime. Problem is, some of them believe that they're the solution. They're the ones who. There's some who just believe they are the power. They're not someone. They're not. It's protect and serve. Serve. They're serving us. They're helping us. And you know what? I don't know. Let's go on. Let's move on. I'm gonna close this up for today. Finish this up. D-Day, which is being overshadowed today, is the 76th anniversary of D-Day, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of knuckleheads on the internet telling you that the original anti-fascist stormed Normandy today, right? I've already seen a couple of them. Let's see what these are. On this day in 1944, more than 150 Allied troops landed in Normandy. Time-lapse shows their 87 days of combat. Orange UK, blue USA, red Canada, black Axis powers. You know, I don't know. I went to if you are ever in New Orleans, or planning a trip to New Orleans, you have to put aside at least one full day to go to the World War II Museum in New Orleans. It is so fascinating. You know, D-Day, they faked out the Axis powers, making them think that they were going to attack from a different beach by placing fake munitions and tanks and things like that, like blow up replicas of tanks, because right then, you know, the way they did reconnaissance was flying over the top and taking photos, right? So the Allied powers put all these fake tanks and fake trucks and all this stuff on one section of England, so it made it look like they were going to attack in a whole nother area of the, you know, of the main continent, the mainland continent. And then when they landed during these four areas along the other beaches, the Germans had no idea they were coming. And so it's an amazing plan. But anyway, the World War II Museum is freaking amazing. My Lady Boomer and I, we went on a swamp tour in the morning, and then we're like, well, let's go to the World War II Museum. So we go to the World War II Museum. We're like, we only had like half a day there, and we're like, no, we're coming back the next day. We spent the entire next day from open until close at it, and there's so much in there, and so much you learn about World War II, and the D-Day exhibit was amazing. So anyway, and you go around, you watch videos, you watch movies of different things, and they have rooms that are like replicas of what you were going through. So there was one replica where you're going through the Battle of the Bulge, and you're going through that force, and then they have they all have movies on different walls of different things that are happening. It is fan-freaking-tastic. Anyway, let's see. On this day, 76 years ago, the greatest generation took a fearless step towards saving the world, storming the beaches of Normandy by sea and being dropped in from above with a parachute. Good would ultimately triumph over evil. That massively consequential conflict, D-Day. And here it is! I knew it! It was coming up! Matthew Dowd! Let us remember this day when 76 years ago, the largest group of anti-fascists ever assembled stormed the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. Let us not forget their sacrifices and heroism, and let us commit to the battle today. You know what, Matthew Dowd and any other asshole using this, if you're a relative of anyone who would have been a part of the group that stormed D-Day, they would kick your fucking ass right now. Okay? Don't even compare the militaries that defeated the Axis powers to the little shitbags wearing black masks and black clothes right now. They're not the same. Okay? These little fuckers use fascist tactics, and they're like communists and anarchists. Fuck those little pieces of shit. They're not the same. They're not your grandpa's anti-fascist, Matthew Dowd. I was gonna say something even more rude, but I'm not going to. Fuck off. Anyone who says that shit. Don't even come. And in fact, asswipe, you know who else were part of those attacks back in World War II? The communists in Russia. Remember them? You know, those they were anti-fascist too. I don't think fuck off. FTG. Thank you for the FTGs. You all are on it before I even thought of it. Thank you. Yeah. So screw you guys. Oh, Ivanka Trump tweeted. I'm sure she's getting ravaged over this. Okay. At least she did. She just made a simple statement. Good for her. Yeah. Anti-fascist. Go fuck yourself. All right, moving on. D-Day's number 3. D-Day's number 4. Fox News is racist. Oh, the hashtag activists are out. Let's see. What did Fox News do today that makes them racist? Oh, I don't know. What the fuck's wrong with Fox News? Oh, there's no correlation between these deaths and the stock market performance. You can't find one person who trades saying the Floyd death is bad, but it helps the markets. Okay, that is really stupid, but I think what they were doing, someone asked, there was something article regarding what happened. This is just percentage change 1 week after event. God damn, that's stupid on their part, first of all. Child, look at this bullshit. What's this one about? How long is this? 116. Okay.
Of our country, but she's certainly proud of her wardrobe.
The First Lady was caught on camera wearing shorts, and some people think this is a big no-no for a First Lady. The First Lady was also criticized for wearing a sleeveless gown to the inaugural
Who
ball.
gives a shit about this?
The White House vegetable garden. She was wearing a pair of boots that cost $775.
Running around in almost a $7,000 jacket really sends a conflicting message.
The real injustice is the press's attention on what she's wearing
Yeah,
rather than what she does.
Melania Trump.
Okay, so all the news media worrying what the fuck the First Lady's wearing, it's just stupid. But I understand that when if you're out there talking about I don't know, I don't. Here, let's finish this.
Always looks so stunning and so beautiful. I just want her wardrobe.
She tends to try to make statements by her appearance.
They commented on her shoes, that she had heels on at one point.
Yeah, this is all stupid no matter who's doing it.
Pretty much Michelle Obama got a pass. Interestingly, Michelle Obama, she gets out of a vehicle. She's carrying a bag that was $1,200 and nobody said a thing.
No one said a thing about her $500 Landon sneakers either.
Reportedly spending $2,000 on this sundress. What? The First Lady changed into a $950
yeah, this is
skirt.
dumb. And that's a Fox News double standard. Fox News are assholes too. They're all corporate media. They're all hacks. Fuck them all. I don't watch any of them except to make fun of them. So I do like, I like a good Tucker rant once in a while. But anyway, yeah, okay. Fox News is racist. That's why Fox News is racist today. Mostly because of that stupid chart they put out, which was dumb. Low, I don't know. When Biden takes over, oh, this should be good. Maybe I'll get a good couple laughs out of this. When Biden takes over, we will get the same policy agenda as Trump, but white liberals and suburban Americans won't care. Biden and Trump are cut from the same rotten racist imperial cloth. If we want to improve the lives of workers and oppressed people, this election ain't it. Damn! Shots fired! Amy McGrath says, when Biden takes over, all of these white liberal allies protesting and holding the government accountable will disappear. Yes, they will. Amy McGrath is an Amy Cooper Democrat. Oh, I see what you're saying. That Amy McGrath is an Amy Cooper Democrat. Also says, why do... Oh, this is okay, is this a brother? I don't know who this is. Anyway, Fly Thai MMA. Okay, this is an MMA fighter. Why do liberals act like the doomsday scenario we talk about regarding Biden is just theory? Biden has a 40-year record, bragged about being one of the Senate's most conservative Democrats, and was just VP for 8 years. Stop gaslighting us. Oh, okay. Someone says, when Biden takes over, I'm divorcing his ass. I don't think so. When Biden takes over, the shit lips will go back to sleep and pretend everything is fine with the world. You don't need to use that type of language. Okay. Will he say stupid stuff? LOL, yeah, he's Joe Biden. Will SNL make fun of him? Yep, it's kind of what they do. Except they didn't make fun of Barack Obama. They never did. They always kid gloves with Obama on Saturday Night Live, and there was so much to work with that they just failed. Okay, here we go. When Biden takes over, Oh my fucking God. Nothing will really change, but all you centrists will go back to thinking everything is peachy. Biden is a lying piece of shit, and he's already said that nothing will fundamentally change under him. Okay, so people aren't excited about Biden taking over either. Okay, whatever. Biden 2020, nothing would fundamentally change. You know, I wrote a Biden ad. I might have to make it. I wrote a Biden ad, particularly if Biden chooses Kamala Harris for vice president. I'll put that out on my channel sometime soon. I have to actually do some editing to do that. All right, when Biden takes over, he will be among the people versus hiding in a bunker. Motherfucker, this whole bunker bullshit. Do you realize that the president doesn't have control over that? The Secret Service tells them when they need to go into the bunker. It's not fucking hiding, you assholes. When the security shack at the White House is burning, I'm pretty sure the Secret Service said, "Sir, we're gonna take some precautions here and take you down where it's safe until we get the situation under control." That's the job of the fucking Secret Service, you dumb motherfuckers. Did I say that out loud? I think I did.
Your life makes me sad.
Okay. When Biden takes over, the soul of this nation will finally be restored. We're all in this together. Let's work our hardest to elect Joe Biden. Oh, that's so touching. Yeah, like Joe touches little kids. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Sesame Street is trending because, I know why. Sesame Street did a thing with Elmo and this other weird character that I'm not familiar with because I watched Sesame Street the first time it was on when it was Bernie, Big Bird, and Grover. Anyway, not all streets are like Sesame Street. This is CNN reporting. Not all streets are like Sesame Street. What we are seeing is people saying enough is enough. They want to end racism. Motherfucker, this isn't about racism. And you, oh my God. You all know it's not about racism. You know, motherfuckers don't give a shit about racism. You really don't. This is all about, they've somehow made it about Trump. And so let's see what this says here. This is 2 minutes and 19 seconds of Sesame Street.
Doesn't understand. What's happening? Why are all these people together?
Oh, well, they're gathering together to protest.
Okay.
Protest? Elmo doesn't understand. What's a protest?
Oh, a protest is when people come together to show they are upset and disagree about something. They want to make others aware of the problem. Through protesting, people are able to share their feelings and work together to make things better.
And get some new Nikes.
They make signs like this.
Oh, now how... Isn't that a lovely sign? Of course, this is Sesame Street, so you don't want to fucking scare the kids, but goddamn. It's so sweet.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm bringing this sign to the protest at the community center later.
Oh, and then you're going to burn it down? I don't know.
Oh. They look upset. Are the protesters sad?
Sad?
They are sad.
Some are deranged.
Upset.
Most are sad. The real protesters are there with a message. So I'm not making fun of the protesters, but just all the virtue, you know? It's virtue.
You're right to be, Elmo. People are upset because racism is a huge problem in our country.
Really? It's a problem. Is it a problem the more we amplify it or the less we amplify it? Is everything that happens about racism? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Racism? What's that?
Oh, Racism is when people treat other people unfairly because of the way they look or the color of their skin.
Okay. Maybe it's just because I'm an 80s kid when we really made some ground on this, and in the 90s. Although, a lot of those incidents, those ones that then one day Rodney King was hopped up on some PCP and got beat in a very wrong manner by police officers. But I don't know what the deal behind that. I don't know. This is frustrating.
The color of their skin? Oh, Elmo doesn't understand, Daddy. Elmo has friends with different types of skin. Oh, and fur, too. Black, brown, pink, purple.
I know, Elmo, but not all streets are like Sesame Street. I mean, on Sesame Street, we all love and respect one another. But across the country, people of color, especially in the black community, are being treated unfairly because of how they look.
And now I know why that little girl's crying. This is not. I get it. You want to teach kids what that's about. Is that really what's happening?
Their culture, race, and who they are.
Are we being treated differently because of that? Because of that. Oh, man. Of course, CNN's promoting this.
Are seeing as people saying enough is enough. They want to end racism.
By throwing bricks. All right, I'm gonna have to pause this. Sorry about that, gang. I'm gonna have to call Lady Boomer back. Anyway, you know what? I can't. I'm not gonna watch the rest of that. That's why now a lot of people are celebrating it. Some people are like, "Is that really the best message?" I don't know. There's a delicate balance of how you teach kids. Telling them that people should be treated fairly, things like that. And I don't know how that you're right now. So now you're telling kids that they're being treated unfairly because of the color of their skin. So anything that's different now for those kids, it's because of the color of my skin, right? If I don't win this game, it's because if I don't, win this game, it's because of the color of my skin or this. Holy shit. There's got to be a better way to tell that message. And it's an important, and I don't say it's an important message. It's an important message. It's an important message. There's got to be a better way to tell it. And there's got to be an age-appropriate way to tell it. Now, maybe you're trying to, it's a good explanation of why people are in the streets right now as far as how the people in the streets see it. I struggle with the rest. I struggle with a lot of these things, and maybe I have to have a conversation with somebody about that. And hopefully there's a couple people I want to bring in here and talk over some of these issues. I don't know if I'll do it on a live stream or we'll do it privately and then post it. I don't know. We'll talk about that another time. Let's move on. Elmo's trending. Some game called Bungie's trending. Joseph Campbell, don't know who that is trending. Get Joseph Campbell's words out of your mouth, you weird computer-generated creep. I found that my greatest personal growth has arisen from times of discomfort and uncertainty. I don't know what that's about. Anyway. So, Ivanka Trump's trending. I'll find out later. I'm going to call him a day. Thank you, Mr. Scott, with the $2 super chat. Serenity now. My cousin posted that she's proud her daughter is ashamed to be white. Serenity now. Yeah, you're fucking up a whole generation right now. With that's literally, you're teaching the white kids to be ashamed of themselves, and you're teaching the black kids that anything that goes wrong in their life is because their skin is darker than the kid next to them. And I don't think that's the right message. I'm just saying we have better messages that can be put out there that kids can understand. It's funny when my kids were in Montessori school. They were 3 and 5, and they were in a Montessori school, super diverse Montessori school, and all the kids played together and never even thought about, they never really seemed to think about what the color of each kid's skin was, and they were all different. There's all kinds of different kinds of color kids, and they didn't think about it. And until you told them that they should be concerned about each other's skin, they don't know. Now, or you can tell them, hey, see all these cool colors, everyone has these cool colors, different colors of skin, everyone's beautiful, blah blah blah, and let's live in some harmony. But now you're telling a certain set of kids that they are the cause of these other kids being oppressed, and you're telling these other kids that they're oppressed. And how many times you got to say it until they believe it? Not that many. That's not a good message. That's not a good message. And also, hey, because and if I'm a kid if I'm one of the oppressed ones, who I think, if I have dark skin, and the cops are going to kill me, and I'm never going to be able to get anything in life because why would I even fucking try? Oh, that's not a good message either. I don't know. That's frustrating as fuck. Queen Sugar. That's my wife used to watch that show. Is there a new season on TV? That boyfriend is Nicholas Ash, who stars in Queen Sugar on the OWN network. Put some respect on his name. What? Justice Smith that just came out as a queer man, and his boyfriend and I couldn't be more proud of him. I love him, and I wish he could. Okay, great. Okay, someone came out, son. I thought, I didn't think it was extraordinary to come out anymore, but apparently if you're a celebrity, it still is. I don't know. I think people are getting to the point where, oh, you're gay? Okay. What kind of beer do you want? I don't care. Omaha Beach, there's some people who still do, but for the most part, Barron Trump is trending. Barron Trump they should never allow Barron Trump to trend on Twitter. 46,000 tweets about Barron Trump. What could this fucking be about? As much as I dislike the president, I'm still not going to make comments about Barron Trump. He's still a kid. Barron Trump is the height and weight that Donald Trump always lies about being. How Barron Trump is looking. Okay, they're just commenting that he's really tall, at least for the most part. Barron Trump wearing that black Obama bomber jacket. Whatever. The right-wing nut jobs literally called the Obama girls monkeys. No, they didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? That's just making up some shit. Okay? Unless it was some fucking fringe fuckwad that, Jesus Christ. Nobody said anything bad about the Obama girls. Nobody talked about the Obama girls. And they're losing their shit collective mind because people are commenting on how tall Barron Trump is. Nobody cares. You know what? If that's all it is, I'm cool. If that's all it is. Has the physical manifestations of the saying legs for days. Also, I'll give it to Melania. Her genes were strong enough to defeat the ugly-ass DNA that created Eric and Don Jr. Best guess is that Barron is not Donald's kid. Oh, great. That's a good thing to put on Twitter about a 14-year-old. Anyway, so people are just talking about how tall he is. Barron Trump is what Donald thinks he looks like. Okay, moving on. Paid leave, blah, blah, blah. More Ivanka. Ivanka said something. She complains of cancel culture. Okay, whatever. Oh, because she was supposed to do a commencement speech, and it got canceled, and so she did a virtual one online. I think that's what that was that she did. Okay, Catter Day, vote Trump out, all the same usual shit. That's all for today, folks. Gang, amazingly, 37 of you are still here, and you already got 38 likes, but some of you might have not done that yet. So on your way out the door, if you'd hit the like button, that's always appreciated. Interaction is king. Duck Dog, do your thing too. And thanks for being here today. It's not the Morning Night Live, but it is a special edition of Saturday Night Live. And if you would share the stream when you go, hit the share arrow, and or retweet my tweet on Twitter. I didn't do the Minds and Gabs Day, but I did put it on Twitter. Hope you enjoyed the new changing background. I'm working with green screen for the first time ever, and that was just a fun thing to put up there. Finally, if you really, really, really want to help us out, you can always throw a couple bucks in the tip jar. If you're able, don't do it if you're not able, that's fine. That is how we do super chats on this show, and that's always available in the Streamlabs link down below. If you do it during the off hours, I will read it the first thing next show. My normal show, though, is not on Saturdays. It's Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Central. No, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT for my friends Richo and who else is from Down Under? Malia. Malia's from Down Under. So anyway, that's it for today, people. I gotta go. My name's PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. See ya. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.